Hey everyone, welcome back to Forestry Friday this week. We're here with Bear, our trusty forestry dog. He's watching over our stuff. We'll give him some food. Yeah, he's a good pup. Alright, so this week we're going to show you what's inside that dash modding pull-through garage workshop. It's personally one of my favorite setups combinations. We got the Libier Nano 2 excavator. We got a wheeled version. It also comes with a track. I prefer the wheeled version, it's just a little faster. We also got the processor and the rigid claw and leveler blade. And then up here we got the I want to know what I don't want to say I know what it is, but you don't know what it is. I know, and it's under forestry machines, not under trucks. So it is the 4320-60 UTS-5453. At its most expensive, it's like $45,500 when you paint it, put on the different bumpers, and yeah, right there, $45,500. That's your most expensive. It's a good, cheap machine. Great little truck. It works good. It's easy to load, easy to run. Let's open up our garage doors. It's a great shop here by Dash Modding. It's even got a work trigger on it so you can work on your stuff right here. See, we can work on the truck right there. Alright, so I'm going to show you to hook this up. Now, something great about this setup. This brush and log fork that's rigid, you can hook on. And then you can turn this up like this. I'm dancing in here because of the height trigger for the lift, and I never clued into it until I started putting it in here, and then it was too late. So now it's given us a prompt to attach with X the processor head, which you can do like that, and then you can bring both tools with you at one time. You can attach the leveler, and also when you do it this way, now I can't say for 100% on whether or not you can attach, or at least which trailers you can attach to the back of this weight, because as you can see there is an attachment there for a trailer. So it would have to just be one with a bar with a drop pin hitch. So we're going to take this over here. Now, normally this excavator, you can get it with the forestry cage on the windows. I prefer first person view most of the time. I only don't go first person most of the time on here for everybody else's sakes. Oh, there goes our log fork. There. Now, processor head. It will turn 300 with. Alright, so we'll do. Oh, that's another thing. My help menu. Always forgetting the help menu, guys. Alright, so. You do have a lot of control groups again. You gotta keep that in mind. With triangle, you get one for your excavator body, which controls with L1 and R1 together, and the left stick controls your stabilizer legs on the back of the machine, which come in a lot more handy when you're loading than when you're processing with this machine. And then in the front you also have your leveler blade with the same controls, and that can also be put on the ground and used with the stabilizer legs. So if you select the head, this movement, you swing the whole excavator around and move the arm up and down with L1 and right stick. R1 and right stick does this, and it also rotates your elbow, like your claw when you have it on. Right now, R1, L1 together, and right stick is what turns their processor head, and it also lays the processor head over, so that if you wanted to use it as an actual processor after you've fell or bunched or just cut down with a chainsaw, you can also have that option. So you gotta turn on the processor head using L1 and square, and then at the same time up in that help window we got change cut length. Right now it's set at 7 meters for some reason or another, but we can change it with this processor up to 12 meters. We're just gonna do 6 just for today's processing and teaching segment here. So when you're running a processor like this, you always want to make sure that you're cutting on the side that you want your log to fall the other way. So like, I want my log to fall to my right, so I'm going to put my processor head on the left side of the tree. Now this processor is a little bit, the first cut can be a little tricky. But as you can see, it does do just fine. And one thing that makes this great is it eliminates the need for something to level your piles with, because it does it. It levels the piles. I'm just going to throw that right on there. It can level the piles with the leveler on the front. So now this one, I want it to fall to the left of me. So I'm going to swing my head and put it down. And again, this is a lot of L1, R1, R1, L1, right stick, left stick. And we aren't going to get it to cut the way we want it to cut. We're going to have to move in some. And I seen it. There it is. There it is. We cut. And right on our pile. Yes, sir. Good. Perfect. Alright, now we'll cut this off into 6 meters. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go get ourselves that tree over there, right there. I'm gonna show you this part. That's the chainsaw part. I already showed you guys that. Go back and check that video out if you didn't see it already. It's in the playlist on my YouTube channel here under Forestry Fridays, chainsaws and cheap ways. So we're gonna get back in the processor now, and if you look, we're gonna turn the processor with L1 and R1 and the right stick down. We turn the processor head. Now the problem is we need the processor head so that the blade, which is that end right here, it's in that protective casing. I'll show you. The blade's in there, see? That's where it cuts it. That we want to have on the stump end of our log and not on the top side. And you want to get your excavator head just over top until you get the prompt to cut right there, and then it picks it back up and you can process just like normal. There are several modded processors that can do that. The Ponzi Bear, the Ponzi MRF Scorpion King, and the John Deere tract harvesters will all do that. Alright, so we got those three things cut down. Now we're gonna drop off this processor head here. We're just gonna unhook it like that. And we're gonna grab this log fork. Alright, now, so with the log fork, this is L1 right stick, as usual. L1 right stick, R1 right stick up and down. For the right stick, R1 and right stick left and right tilt you this way. And this is rigid, very rigid, very rigid. And then L1 and R1 together, and it spins just like any of your other grapples and closes. Okay, so what we're gonna do right now is we're just gonna fade out and get our truck. There's our truck. We start her up and we get going. I like this. Watch this. Watch the gear stick there. Look at that. Look at that. He's actually got it so it shifts. Amazing detail in this mod. I don't remember. I will put it up in the link in the video like I do every time for the guy that made it, and he did wicked good. Wicked good. Alright, here's something I'm going to show you with me. Personally, I love this excavator for loading trucks because it's just, I seem to have a knack for working it. Some guys can't get it to work worth anything. Me, I don't know what it is, but I think they did a wicked good job on this excavator, and I love it for loading trucks. Alright, so what we're going to do here is and I also really prefer for first person. There. Oh, we're going to switch with triangle to our leveler blade. R1 and L1 together, and a left stick puts it down. And now I am concentrating very hard, if everybody can't tell, because I don't want to mess this up. But I see, isn't that awesome? I mean, that's not the best load I've ever put on a machine, that's for sure. I'm also a bit under time here. I forgot all about doing this. I realize it's Thursday night and I have to record this. And then usually I try not to be so violent about it. But I like to use this to just push all the logs up into the truck and usually keep it a little nicer and neater. And now, we'll move in a little closer. Yeah, and you see how I use the leveling blade on it to straighten out the pile. Oh, not where I wanted to be. There, and there, and then. Now, I don't expect everybody to be able to get 3 of these logs in there like that. I mean, it doesn't come overnight anyways. Some guys probably do a lot better. But, this is one of my favorite ways of doing it right here. It's a good cheap little mod. It's only a little over $100,000 if you paint it and do all that stuff and you buy all the pieces. But it is so worth it once you learn how to run it. It can make you a ton of money compared to having to buy the big expensive processors. And then again, if you're just going for that old-timey look, you can't ask for much better than this combination right here for an old-timey look. My only thing against it is sometimes the processor head can be a little bit difficult to use. It's I've found it not exactly on point with picking up its cut points. It sometimes can be difficult to get that prompt to show up, but once you do get it the first time, it just flies. I'm sorry about the bad camera shots here a few times, guys. Now these little pieces you see there, I'm not going to bother picking those up. They'll drive you insane. Don't bother. We're just going to snug up this pile a little bit, minus the where the great big stump is, I guess. Oh, and I can't pick anything up because of the great big stump. There. There. And you just kind of do like you did before. Straighten it the best you can. Like that. And for newbies, I would suggest you try taking one at a time. If you consider yourself skilled, I mean, go for taking 2 at a time. If you think you're real good, grab for 3 or 4. I mean, why not? And guys that start out at 1 or 2, give yourselves a week at loading this way, and then you'll grab 3 or 4. You'll grab 5 or 6, depending on the size of the logs on the map that you're on. But myself, I've used this on Dark Forest. I've used this on well, we are on Dark Forest. I've used this on St. Croix Flowage. I've used this on Rogue River. I've used it on Oasis Springs. Logging in the mountains. I've had this on almost every... The only map I don't think I've ever used this on is Wilhelmina Forest. Honestly. I think that's the only console map I have not used this excavator on, would be Wilhelmina Forest. I have no idea how I managed to just throw them on there like this, but I have. That is very bad, very sloppy, and I hate to release that to the public saying that I loaded it. That is a disgrace to the logging. My name of logging. Disgraceful. That's a little bit better, I guess. Oh, now we're gonna find our other log. We got one left to put on there, and that'll be it. This week's gonna be a short episode. Like I said, I was a little bit late on recording it, but this is the end of our cheapos and cheap running series here. Like I said, in my personal opinion, this is the best cheap setup, in my personal opinion, for an actual processor, loader, and truck. You can't go wrong with this. The only little tidbit I'd like to share to some people that might not know is, I don't know if you can with the weight for sure. Well, like, look at that. Now, that's not so bad now, is it, guys? That's not so bad. And the little truck has got weight straps, so you just jump in and you strap the old girl and you drive her. And she is fairly solid. She don't like to tip over very often. Let me show you right here. See, she is fairly solid. We'll sell off that load of wood. 15 grand. It's not a bad load. Now we're gonna drive real quick right back through here. One little thing I am going to share with everybody, just because I don't know, I had to buy it first. We're going to go into trailers. We're going to buy the IT runner trailer. And I figured this out one day a long time ago, and I don't know what made me think of it, but I said, I wonder if there's a trailer that'll hook up to the excavator. And I went looking, and guess what, lo and behold, the one that actually hooked up first, for some reason, the IT runner hooks up. And not only hooks up, but you can use it. That right there changed the game for me for a long time. Because obviously you use the IT runner wood trailer, and right there you've got quite the little forwarder setup, because you can drop a couple of skiffs of wood and load them and have them sitting waiting, pick up 2 or 3 in a row. I think it's an amazing idea that that thing can fit on there, and I love the combination together. I hope some other people maybe give it a try. Not only for the forestry part, but I've also taken it with the bucket, because with the excavator you get buckets as well. And I've used the buckets to and the skip container for the IT runner on my farms to reload my planters and my seeders out in the field. So it's even an idea for that. Well, I'm hoping everybody enjoyed this little cheapo thing. So again, that's the 902 Libier excavator, and the lizard, they call it a Yamsey 238, but in the forestry machines section, it is the 4320-60 UTS 5453. And then the excavator is in miscellaneous vehicles, and you have a tracked one for 90,000. And it's got the forestry cage, and you can paint it with several different colors. And then you get the wheeled one, and the wheeled one gives you a few more options. You got no keying tires, wide tires, double tires, all that fun stuff. Different colors, great machines. I love them. All their pieces are in tools, miscellaneous. You get, I got all kinds of stuff. You get the universal bucket with 2,000 liters and 4,000 liters. Those are the ones I say I used them on the farm to refill my seeders and my planters with fertilizer and seed and stuff like that out in the field. You get the solid, rigid log fork. That's the one we're using tonight. I like that one better myself. And then there's a dangle one. There's your level blade, your processor head, and a universal bucket. 3,500 liters. Great mod that is. Absolutely great mod. Well, thank you very much for everybody for joining me this week on Forestry Friday. Next week we're going to have some of those bigger machines you just saw in the Forestry Friday stuff there, in the Forestry machine stuff. We're going to start out with maybe some red machines next week. Hope you all enjoyed. Tune in next week. Thank you very much.